There comes a moment in your life when you realize money has never been the master. You have. From the moment you open your eyes each morning, the world bends to the state you choose. Money is not earned first, it is summoned first. It listens, it responds, it obeys the tone of your inner being. Most people spend their mornings repeating the vibration of lack, wondering why nothing changes. But the ones who rise in power understand a simple truth. The first words you speak each day are the instructions you give to reality. They are the ignition of your financial destiny. And when you speak with authority, when you declare your worth, when you claim abundance as your natural birthright, money begins to rearrange itself around you. This is where your transformation begins, not in effort, not in fear, but in the consciousness that commands prosperity into existence. And today, you will learn the two words that cause money to move toward you, follow you, and obey you. Comment, not cuss. Most people wake up every day believing they must chase money, fight for it, or somehow earn the right to touch it. But the truth, the hidden law that governs all creation, is that money is never the leader. It is always the follower. It cannot outrun your state of being, nor can it resist the identity you embody. The moment you understand that money responds to command rather than effort, you stop living like a beggar and start living like a creator. This shift is not merely mental, it is spiritual, energetic, and deeply rooted in the way consciousness shapes reality. Money is not a mystery, it is an obedient force. And every morning, with every thought, every word, every assumption, you are issuing instructions to it. You tell it where to go, how to behave, how much to bring, and from where it should appear, even when you are unaware you are doing it. Money moves by vibration. Your inner speech, those silent words you repeat, sets the tone for what financial experiences must come. If your inner dialogue is filled with fear, doubt, or worry, then money receives the command to stay away. It interprets your anxiety as rejection and your disbelief as a boundary. But when your inner language is rich, open, powerful, and aligned with abundance, money takes that as a green light and begins flowing into your life with ease. People think money follows effort, but the truth is that money follows identity. Whatever identity you step into each morning becomes the magnet that determines the flow of wealth throughout your day. You never attract what you want, you attract what you are. When you understand this, your relationship with money changes forever. Every morning is a reset, a doorway into a new state. The first seconds after waking are the most potent because your mind is still in the realm of suggestion, still soft, open, impressionable. This is when you have the greatest power to command your reality. While most people reach for their phones, scroll through negativity, or rehearse yesterday's struggles in their minds, the ones who rise above the ordinary use this moment to declare their wealth. They speak words that set the universe in motion. They declare the state of abundance as their identity. They assume the position of authority. Money cannot resist this energy. Money is an effect, not a cause. It bends itself to your internal frequency. Your words are not empty sounds, they are creative codes. Every sentence you speak is a blueprint, a script that life must follow. When you say, I am struggling, you write struggle into your story. When you say, I am always short on money, you embed scarcity into your future. But when you declare, I receive, you step into the energy of abundance that already exists in the invisible realm. The universe does not respond to hope, it responds to certainty. It responds to the language of someone who knows that everything they desire is already theirs in consciousness. These declarations are not wishes, they are permissions. They grant access to the wealth that is already waiting for you. Money is not attracted to desperation. It is repelled by it. The energy of need, fear, or chasing sends a signal that says, I do not have, and the universe can only mirror that state back to you. But the energy of command, the energy of I receive, creates a powerful pull. It tells money, opportunities, ideas, resources, and people that you are ready, open, and aligned. The world begins to shift in your favor because your inner world has shifted first. This is why the first moments of your day are sacred. They are the birthplace of your financial reality. When you claim abundance first thing in the morning, you eliminate all internal resistance. You silence the voice of doubt. You overpower the vibration of lack. You plant a seed in your subconscious mind, a seed that grows throughout the day without your effort. Money begins to appear in unexpected ways. Ideas you overlooked suddenly seem brilliant. Opportunities that were once invisible come into view. People come into your life at the perfect moment with the perfect information. This is not coincidence. This is consciousness arranging itself according to the command you issued at dawn. You are not meant to struggle for money. You are meant to call it. You are meant to summon it, draw it, magnetize it, and allow it. But to do that, you must wake up each morning understanding that you are the source, not the seeker. You are the origin of your wealth, not the victim of circumstances. Money does not control you. Your state controls money. And when you step into the day with authority, conviction, and clarity, money has only one option: it must obey. The moment you embrace this truth, you stop fearing bills, stop doubting opportunities, stop worrying about outcomes. You rise into the identity of someone who knows their power. And from that place, your mornings become rituals, not routines. They become moments of creation, not moments of confusion. You speak your wealth into existence, and life responds. You begin to understand that the day does not start when you leave your bed. It starts when you command your reality. This is the hidden law. Money moves by command. And the one who commands is the one who knows the power of their words. Every person carries a silent script inside them, a script that dictates how money behaves in their life. Some unknowingly carry the script of scarcity, others carry the script of struggle. But the rare few, the ones who rise, the ones who command wealth instead of chasing it, carry a script built on receiving. And this script is awakened, shaped, and strengthened by two simple yet profoundly powerful words. I receive. These words are not a mantra. They are not a wish. They are an identity. When spoken with conviction each morning, they operate like a key that unlocks the gate between the unseen realm of abundance and the visible world of form. The truth is that most people speak against their own prosperity without even realizing it. The first thing they say in the morning is soaked in fear. I'm tired. I don't have enough time. I'm behind. I'm stressed. I hope today goes well. These statements may seem trivial, but every one of them plants a seed of limitation. The subconscious mind hears them as commands, and because the subconscious does not judge, it obeys. It takes these words and builds circumstances that match them. The world bends to the first instructions you give it. So the one who wakes up with lack in their language unknowingly programs their entire day to reflect lack. But the one who wakes up and boldly declares, I receive, immediately sets the tone for a life where abundance is the default. These two words work because they shift you into the state of already having. They move you out of longing and into possession. They erase the vibration of need and replace it with the vibration of fulfillment. Need repels money, fulfillment draws it in. And the moment you say, I receive, you tell your subconscious mind that the wealth you desire already belongs to you. This is the state that transforms lives. Not effort, not struggle, not endless hustle, but the inner assumption of having. The invisible always comes before the visible. You must receive it internally before you can receive it externally. And these two words are the bridge. When you say, I receive, something profound happens inside you. Your energy softens, your fear dissolves, your doubt weakens, your mind expands. Instead of bracing for problems, your body begins to open itself to possibilities. You start expecting good things. Your awareness widens, allowing you to notice opportunities that were previously hidden from you. Solutions appear without strain. Ideas flow effortlessly. People show up at the right time. Financial breakthroughs that once seemed out of reach suddenly feel natural. This is not magic. This is alignment. What was once blocked becomes available because your inner state has shifted into the frequency where wealth can finally reach you. The words, I receive, also carry a deeper meaning. They release control. They release the ego's need to force, push, and manipulate outcomes. They acknowledge that abundance flows through infinite channels, many of which you cannot see or predict. When you say, I receive, you stop trying to figure out the how and open yourself to the when and where. You allow life to support you instead of resisting it. You let the universe supply the answers, the resources, the opportunities. These two words turn your mornings into a doorway for miracles. They transform your relationship with money from one of tension to one of trust. The power of these words does not come from repeating them mindlessly, but from embodying them. You must feel them as truth. You must breathe them as identity. Imagine someone standing in the middle of a vast field of abundance, with treasures scattered in every direction. If they keep saying, I lack, they remain blind to the wealth already surrounding them. But the moment they declare, I receive, their eyes open. They see pathways they never recognized before. They notice opportunities that were always present but invisible to a consciousness closed by fear. The words do not create abundance, they reveal it. Each morning, as the boundary between sleep and waking fades, your subconscious mind is most impressionable. This is the moment when your new state can be imprinted with ease. This is why the first declaration of your day matters more than any action you take later. When you say, I receive, before speaking anything else, you are planting the dominant seed from which the entire day will grow. And as with any seed, it multiplies, it expands, it attracts more of its own kind. Throughout the day, you begin noticing evidence of receiving. In conversations, in unexpected messages, in money that shows up out of nowhere, in ideas that strike you with clarity. The world reflects your inner command. These words reshape more than your finances. They reshape your identity. Because the person who says I receive is not a person of lack. They are not a person of fear. They are not someone struggling to survive. They are someone who knows their power. Someone who understands that life rises to meet the assumption you hold. Someone who no longer waits for permission to be abundant. They declare it. They decide it. And once decided, money must respond. But perhaps the greatest gift of these two words is how they transform your sense of deserving. Many people fail to attract wealth because they do not feel worthy of it. They think they must prove themselves, earn approval, or accomplish something extraordinary before wealth can enter their lives. But I receive cuts through all of that. It bypasses doubt, shame, and unworthiness. It claims abundance not as a reward, but as a natural state. It teaches you to open your hands instead of clenching them, to allow instead of resist, to trust instead of fear. Every time you say I receive in the morning, you rewrite your financial destiny. You are no longer waiting for the world to give. You are allowing the world to obey. You are stepping into the identity of someone riches are drawn toward. And from that identity, life cannot help but bring you more. These two words are simple, but they are everything. They rewire the mind. They reprogram the subconscious. They reshape the flow of money around you. And when repeated with conviction, they turn ordinary mornings into portals of abundance. Every morning, before the noise of the world enters your mind, you stand in the most powerful state of creation you will experience all day. In those first quiet moments, you are closest to your subconscious, the part of you that controls money, opportunities, and outcomes. The world teaches you to jump out of bed and rush into activity, but true power lives in stillness, not speed. Wealth does not begin with action. Wealth begins with consciousness. And every single morning, you are given a blank canvas on which you paint the tone of your financial reality. If the first strokes of that canvas are painted with fear, worry, or lack, then the rest of the day must follow that pattern. But if you begin your morning with certainty, authority, and abundance, the entire day must unfold according to that state. Morning consciousness is the architect of your prosperity. Most people never realize that the first thoughts they think are not random. They are chosen, shaped by yesterday's fears or tomorrow's expectations. Without awareness, the mind defaults to limitation. It replays problems, rehearses insecurities, and anticipates struggle. This repetition is what keeps people stuck in cycles of financial scarcity. They wake up and go right back into the emotional environment that created their limitations in the first place. Their mornings become an unconscious loop of the same inner story. Nothing changes externally because nothing changes internally. But those who understand the power of the morning know that this is where transformation begins. They do not wake up and re-enter yesterday. They wake up and create tomorrow. Morning consciousness is the purest form of your mind. Your logical filters are not fully active. Your doubts are still soft. Your nervous system has not yet braced itself for the world. You are in a state where your words and assumptions slip directly into the subconscious without resistance. This is what makes the morning the most fertile ground for wealth programming. You cannot create abundance from a stressed mind, but you can create it from a still one. And the first moments of your day are when stillness is most natural. This is when you have the greatest power to speak your wealth into existence. When you wake up and declare, I receive, you are not simply speaking words. You are planting a dominant seed in the subconscious, instructing it to reorganize your reality around abundance. You are declaring to life that you are open, available, and aligned with financial flow. These words begin to shape your perception, your decisions, your emotions, and your magnetic field. Suddenly, you begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You notice abundance where you once noticed lack. You interpret circumstances with a mindset of possibility. This internal shift is what changes your outer world. Money does not enter randomly. It follows perception. And perception is born from the state you occupy each morning. The reason morning consciousness is so powerful is because it bypasses resistance. During the rest of the day, your mind is full of noise, logic, doubt, overthinking, fear of failure. You are busy reacting. But in the morning, before your mind fully awakens, you are not reacting, you are creating, you are imprinting. You are shaping your identity for the day. And identity is everything. Money does not respond to effort. It responds to identity. When you take control of your state first thing in the morning, you take control of the financial experiences that will follow. You are not hoping for wealth. You are commanding it. Your morning consciousness determines what you expect. Your expectations determine what you notice. What you notice determines what you act on. And what you act on determines what you receive. This chain begins with your first thoughts. This is why wealthy individuals across generations, cultures, and philosophies have always had some form of morning ritual, whether it is meditation, affirmation, reflection, gratitude, or visualization. They intuitively know that the mind must be aligned before the world can respond. They do not leave their state to randomness. They choose it deliberately. They shape it intentionally, because they understand that the universe mirrors the dominant feeling they carry. Financial breakthroughs do not happen because someone works harder. If that were true, the world's hardest workers would be the wealthiest. Instead, breakthroughs happen when someone enters a new state of consciousness, a state where abundance feels normal, expected, and natural. And the morning is when this state can be built most easily. When you use the early minutes of your day to align your mind with receiving, you begin to dissolve the internal blocks that once kept money at a distance. You no longer approach the world from a place of lack or survival. You approach it from fullness, from confidence, from certainty. And certainty magnetizes wealth. The morning is your daily reset. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what bills came, what challenges appeared, or what doubts tried to invade your mind, each morning offers you a new field of creation. You are not required to carry yesterday's limitations into today. You are not bound by what happened before. The morning gives you permission to choose again, to rewrite your state, to declare a new financial identity. You can wake up and decide that you are now someone who receives, someone who is followed by opportunities, someone who lives in alignment with abundance. And the moment you decide that, the universe begins responding immediately. Your financial reality is not shaped by what you do first. It is shaped by who you are first. And who you are is chosen in the morning. The world follows the state you establish as soon as you open your eyes. This is why morning consciousness is not just important. It is everything. It is the origin point of your wealth. It is the foundation of your prosperity. It is the throne from which you rule your reality. And when you rise each day with the declaration that you receive, you step into the identity that money obeys. Watch why monen obeis ti onebo mayans. Not ti onemochias. Money has never belonged to the realm of the fearful. It has never responded to panic, worry, or desperation. Instead, money has always been drawn toward the mind that carries authority, certainty, and inner command. This truth is often misunderstood because most people have been conditioned to believe that money is external, that it exists somewhere, out there, controlled by circumstances, luck, or other people's decisions. But money is not external at all. It is an extension of consciousness. It is a reflection of your inner state. And it responds only to the vibration you consistently hold. That is why money obeys the one who commands it, not the one who fears it. Fear pushes money away, command draws it in. Every person who struggles with money is not struggling with finances. They are struggling with inner authority. They have handed over their power to circumstances, allowing external events to dictate their emotional state. They react instead of command. They chase instead of attract. They hope instead of assume. And whenever you allow fear to be the governing emotion of your decisions, money senses instability, it senses inconsistency, it senses lack, because fear is the vibration of I do not have, and the universe can only multiply what you hold. So, when you hold fear, life gives you more situations to fear. When you hold lack, life mirrors that lack back to you. Money becomes scarce, opportunities close, and everything feels heavy. But the moment you move out of fear and into command, everything shifts. Command is not arrogance. Command is alignment. It is the deep inner knowing that you are the source of your abundance, not the victim of your circumstances. It is the recognition that your assumptions create your experiences. When you stand in command, you are not hoping money will come. You expect it. You assume it. You live as if abundance is your natural state. And because assumption is the strongest creative force in the universe, money has no choice but to reflect that assumption. It begins to appear in your life through channels you never imagined. Opportunities open. People reach out. Ideas flow. Doors unlock that were once sealed shut. This is the power of inner command. Money obeys the one who commands because command carries stability. Imagine two people, one vibrating with fear, the other vibrating with certainty. Fear sends out a shaky signal, unstable, inconsistent, full of doubt. Certainty sends out a steady, clear, unwavering frequency. Money flows to the steady signal because it represents alignment. It represents clarity. It represents someone who knows how to hold the state of abundance. That is the key, holding the state. Most people can feel abundant for a moment, but they cannot hold it. They let doubt creep in. They let logic interfere. They let the physical world convince them that nothing is happening. And the moment they drop the state, money stops moving toward them. The one who commands understands that the invisible precedes the visible. They know that money begins shifting long before it becomes physical. They trust the process. They trust the timeline. They trust their inner authority. They do not beg the universe. They do not plead for change. They declare it. They speak it. They embody it. And because they live in a state of certainty, life rearranges itself to match that state. Money obeys them because they are not contradicting themselves with fear and doubt. They speak one thing and believe it. They assume one thing and hold it. Their energy is consistent. This is why the two words, I receive, are so powerful. They are words of command, not fear. They do not ask. They do not wonder. They do not plead. They declare. They tell the subconscious mind that the flow of abundance is active. They tell the universe that you are aligned. They tell money where to go. These two words carry the vibration of authority, and authority is what money obeys. When you say, I receive, with conviction, you shift out of the identity of someone waiting for wealth and into the identity of someone who commands it. And money responds instantly because you have changed your state. Command does not mean controlling every detail. Command means controlling your assumption. You do not need to know where the money will come from. You only need to know that it will. You do not need to know who will bring the opportunity. You only need to know that the opportunity is already on its way. You do not need to force outcomes. You only need to hold the state that the outcome is guaranteed. This is the energetic difference between fear and command. Fear says, what if it doesn't happen? Command says, it is done. Money obeys the one who embodies wealth internally. When you walk, speak, think, and feel as if abundance is already your identity, the universe aligns with that identity. You become magnetic. You become powerful. You become someone from whom money cannot stay away. Because money is drawn to clarity. Money is drawn to confidence. Money is drawn to alignment. Money is drawn to those who understand their creative power. There is a silent dignity in commanding your financial reality without force. A quiet confidence. A steady inner knowing. This energy is what turns your thoughts into form. It is what allows money to flow without resistance. And it is why wealth feels effortless once you step into the identity of the commander rather than the seeker. The moment you stop fearing money is the moment it begins moving toward you. The moment you stop chasing is the moment it starts responding. The moment you step into inner authority is the moment everything changes. Money is not moved by effort, it is moved by consciousness. And consciousness is moved by the one who commands, not the one who fears. When you understand this, you rise into a new dimension of wealth, one where money follows your lead, obeys your assumption, and bends to your inner state. The world responds differently because you are different. And from that moment on, abundance becomes not something you chase, but something you command. Not where you steers. There is a point in every person's life where they must decide whether money will continue to be a source of stress, worry, and tension, or whether it will become a loyal servant that follows their command. This shift does not happen by accident. It does not happen through luck or sudden miracles. It happens through ritual, through consistency, through the simple, deliberate act of shaping your inner state every single day. A daily ritual is not a routine, it is a practice of power. It is the moment you choose your identity before the world chooses it for you. And when you create a financial ritual rooted in command, clarity, and conscious expectation, money begins obeying you in ways that once felt impossible. Most people wake up every morning and immediately fall back into the emotional patterns of yesterday. They repeat the same thoughts, the same reactions, the same fears, without ever realizing that they are recreating the exact financial reality they are trying to escape. Their mornings become robotic cycles, empty of intention. They let their environment determine their state, instead of using their state to shape their environment. And because they never anchor a new identity at the start of the day, they unconsciously carry the old one into the next 24 hours. The ritual of their life becomes the ritual of lack. But there is another path, a path taken by those who understand that consciousness, not circumstances, determines wealth. These individuals do not wake up and react. They wake up and create. Their mornings are not moments of confusion, they are moments of command. They shape their frequency with intention. They use their inner speech as a tool. They speak words that resonate with abundance before their feet even touch the ground. And because they begin the day as the architect of their state, money follows the blueprint they have set. The daily ritual that transforms your financial life begins with stillness. Before the mind fills with obligations and the world demands your attention, you claim a moment for yourself, an uninterrupted space where you become aware of the power you hold. In this quiet space, you separate yourself from yesterday's identity. You let go of every version of yourself that carried worry, fear, or limitation. The person you were yesterday has no authority over the person you choose to be today. You breathe, you ground yourself, you step into the present moment with intention. Then you speak the words that activate your receiving state. I receive. You do not whisper them out of hope. You declare them out of authority. These two words become the spine of your ritual. They tune your mind like an instrument. They direct your subconscious. They instruct your emotional body to open instead of contract. When spoken with conviction, I receive signals the universe that you are ready to be supplied, guided, and supported. The force that once made you chase money becomes the force that brings money to you. But your ritual cannot end with words. It must include embodiment. You close your eyes and imagine the version of yourself who already receives. The version of yourself who is financially supported, financially calm, financially empowered. You see this version clearly. You feel their confidence, their ease, their certainty. You step into their energy as though you are slipping into a new suit. This embodiment is not imagination. It is identity rehearsal. The subconscious does not respond to fantasy. It responds to the states you inhabit. The more you embody the identity of someone who commands money, the more your external world bends to reflect it. A powerful daily ritual also requires alignment of emotion. Your words and your inner world must speak the same language. If you say, I receive, but feel anxiety, your vibration contradicts your intention. So you allow the emotion of receiving to rise. You let your chest soften, your shoulders loosen, your breath deepen. You allow yourself to feel supported. You let the energy of abundance fill the spaces where fear once lived. You teach your nervous system that receiving is safe. This emotional alignment is what makes your ritual magnetic. The world responds not to your words, but to the emotion behind them. As your daily ritual grows stronger, your outer world begins to shift without struggle. Money becomes responsive instead of distant. Ideas appear with clarity. People show up with opportunities. You begin noticing possibilities that were invisible before. Your decisions become intuitive. You stop forcing outcomes and start allowing pathways to open. This is the natural result of internal alignment. Money becomes your servant because you no longer operate from fear. You operate from power. The true purpose of a financial ritual is not to attract money. It is to become the version of yourself who naturally receives it. When you perform your ritual consistently, you rewrite your internal programming. You break the cycle of scarcity. You teach your subconscious mind that abundance is normal, expected, and deserved. You stop reacting to circumstances and start generating them. You no longer hope for money, you expect it. You no longer chase, it moves toward you. You no longer shrink, you expand. Every day you perform your ritual. You anchor your identity deeper into the state of receiving. You strengthen your command. You reinforce your power. And eventually, this new identity becomes natural. You no longer need to fight with doubt, because doubt dissolves in the presence of certainty. You no longer fear financial instability, because stability becomes your state. You no longer worry about the future, because the future bends to the consciousness you live in. Money becomes obedient not because you force it, but because you have stepped into the frequency of someone it must obey. This is the purpose of your daily ritual, to transform you from the seeker into the source, from the chaser into the commander, from the one who struggles into the one who receives with ease. And once you become this version of yourself, money has only one option: it must follow your command.